problem, reaction, solution. Now, clever PR people turn the situation around so that people want what would normally be unpopular. First, a problem is created that doesn't exist. The problem would be a made-up illness that affects dogs. Let's call it dog tree fungus that dogs catch from cocking their legs up inner city trees. Again, dog tree fungus doesn't exist. Dogs have been cocking their legs up trees since the beginning of time without any problems. Anyway, what happens is the dog keels over with all four paws in the air and its tongue hanging out of its mouth. Sorry, I'm joking a bit here. The news media would then be flooded with fake stories about poor little doggies nearly keeling over in inner cities with this terrible dog tree fungus. Now, it should be remembered that nowadays journalists are sometimes called churnalists, as they don't have enough time to check out the validity of a story, so just churn through the disinformation. As the dog fungus scare came from a so-called leading scientist who's paid to just read the script, it must be true. Next comes reaction. The public are outraged by poor doggies that are keeling over, so the government must do something about it. Next comes the solution. The government then proposes to firstly knock down inner city trees, even pass an act ordering councils to knock down inner city trees to stop the non-existent dog tree fungus. Doggy charities that are very, very dodgy and suspicious, and trusts which are all equally dodgy and suspicious, would be created to lobby the government to knock down the trees and save our poor doggies, and of course gain public support. The trees would be replaced by, yes, you've guessed it, dog toilets. In fact, every other house with a front garden would have to have, by law, a dog toilet installed, and the unsuspecting public would be in favour of it. The media would then enhance the fraud, showing a poor little girl with that lost her dear doggy to this awful fungus. There would also be very shallow radio debates where members of the public would be invited to debate the real issues, such as the type of sand to be used in the dog toilet, and other issues such as should homeowners be compelled to supply a toilet roll if the dog toilet is installed in their front garden. Sorry, I got the giggles. Why the need to chop down trees and install dog toilets would be cast aside. It would be out of the question to even doubt the urgent need for this action, much like the so-called need for housing today. Can you see the similarity? It's assumed it's needed, and debate is built on that false assumption. So really, it's avoiding the obvious. That's the skill of the PR agent, or the change agent as they're called. Now, MI5 would then use their change agents to manipulate shallow radio debates. Their operatives would phone in and say, "It's lovely to see the little doggies easing themselves in." Sorry, I'll start that again. Right. "It's lovely to see the little doggies easing themselves in the new dog toilet outside my front window as I'm eating my dinner." Sorry, I got the giggles. And other fake callers saying, "If you don't like the sight of doggies easing themselves outside your house, simply look away." Anyone that could see through the scam would, in addition to being called a conspiracy theorist, be put into a category. They would be called far-right extremist dog haters. The press would then show images of one of these non-existent far-right dog haters, probably a photoshopped image of a thug with a swastika tattooed on his forehead and the word hate tattooed on his knuckles. In addition to this, there would be outrage reports of dogs being cruelly treated and killed by far-right dog haters that of course don't exist. Doesn't matter if the stories are fake, providing they manipulate public opinion. That would silence anyone that questioned the validity of the dog tree fungus, as they would instantly be branded as a far-right extremist dog hater. Vets would also go along with a fake dog tree fungus story, as they'd be frightened of being branded as a far-right extremist dog hater, and of course they'd lose a lot of their clients. To reiterate, what I've just said is non-existent. Dog tree fungus is purely hypothetical, but hopefully it will give you an idea of how policy is often driven. The fake climate change and silly windmills providing energy is what I believe to be a typical example. Real science shows we are heading for a mini ice age. It's nothing to worry about due to lack of sunspots. But people prefer to believe media celebrity so-called scientists whose job is to simply read the script and put over a lie in a very convincing way. The fake housing crisis is another example where people avoid the truth, fearing they will be labelled a racist when they are not. Therefore, to use the establishment tools that have been designed and created by the establishment to peacefully fight the establishment, such as lobbying your local MP, who I believe is usually a qualified liar, or prancing up and down with banners and doing what the establishment wants you to do, such as protesting, I believe no longer works. I think it is essential to see through the money-making housing scam and approach the problem from a different angle that must be lawful and above all peaceful. If we don't stop the current agenda, I feel the social problems attributed to high density living will become an everyday occurrence, such as stabbings, buggings, etc. Simply look at what is happening in London. The facts speak for themselves. Thank you for listening, and remember, please press the subscribe button.